There was a small village nestled between two towering mountains, a place where echoes danced between the peaks. People in the village lived simple lives, farming the land and herding livestock. Among them was a young man named Elias, known for his strong hands but a weak heart. Weak, not from illness, but from fear. Elias feared failure. He never tried anything unless he was sure he could succeed. When his father encouraged him to take over the family farm, Elias hesitated. "What if I ruin the crops?" he asked. When his friends invited him to go hunting, he refused. "What if I miss and look foolish?" Even love, when it knocked on his door, was left unanswered. "What if she doesn't love me back?" he reasoned. Elias built his life around safety, choosing inaction over the risk of embarrassment or failure. The village elders often spoke of the valley's echoes, saying they carried the voices of the past, but Elias never listened. He believed the echoes were nothing but sound bouncing off the mountains, repeating words without meaning. One winter, a terrible drought struck the village. The river dried up, the crops withered, and the livestock grew weak. The village's only hope lay in the hidden spring at the top of the mountain, a treacherous climb that no one dared attempt in the icy conditions. The elders called for volunteers, but fear gripped the villagers. "The mountain is too dangerous," they murmured. Elias listened, feeling the same fear grip his heart. But then, he saw his mother rationing water, giving up her share for the children. He saw the once proud farmers watching their fields turn to dust. For the first time in his life, Elias felt a different fear, not of failure, but of regret. What if he did nothing and watched his people suffer? Summoning his courage, Elias volunteered to climb the mountain. The villagers were surprised, and a few whispered that he would never make it. But he set off at dawn, carrying only a rope, a flask, and his father's old walking stick. The journey was brutal. The wind howled like an angry beast. The ground crumbled beneath his feet, and his hands bled from gripping jagged rocks. At times, he wanted to turn back. Each time he hesitated, the valley's echo called back his own voice. "What if I fail?" But something strange happened. As he climbed higher, the echoes changed. "What if I succeed?" they whispered back. After hours of climbing, Elias finally reached the hidden spring. Water gushed from the rocks, clear and pure. He filled his flask and began his descent, but a storm was approaching. The sky darkened, and snow began to fall, erasing his path. Then, Elias lost his footing. He tumbled down, crashing against rocks, his vision spinning. When he finally stopped, he found himself clinging to the edge of a cliff, his fingers slipping. For the first time, Elias cried out, not for help, but in frustration. "I tried. I climbed. I did everything right. Why is this happening?" His voice echoed through the valley, and then, through the wind, he heard something. "Why do you stop?" The voice was his own, but it didn't sound afraid. It sounded strong, determined. Summoning every ounce of strength, Elias dug his fingers into the ice and pulled himself up. Step by step, he climbed back to safety, the echoes urging him forward. When Elias returned to the village, the people rushed to him, cheering. The water from the spring saved them, but something else had changed. The Elias who had left in fear returned with fire in his heart. From that day on, he no longer let fear make his choices. He spoke with confidence, worked without hesitation, and even told the woman he loved how he felt. And when the next generation of villagers asked him how he became brave, he simply took them to the valley and shouted, "What if I fail?" The valley always answered, "What if you succeed?"